So, you've got shrimp in your tank, but are they actually happy? Are they healthy enough to be breeding and living their best lives? The difference between a colony that's just getting by and one that's absolutely exploding with babies often comes down to a simple green secret. It's not some crazy expensive food or complicated chemical. Today I'll show you the exact plants I use, like this moss and these crypts, to create the perfect stress-free paradise for my neocaridina shrimp. Let's jump in. Hey there, fellow shrimp keepers. If you're watching this, you want to do more than just keep your shrimp alive. You want them to thrive. You want to see them buzzing around, constantly grazing, and most of all, showing off their best colors and making tons of shrimplets. I've been doing this for years, and trust me, the biggest thing you can do for your colony is create the right environment. And the foundation of that environment, you may ask, that is live plants. But wait, not just any old plant will do. Some are just too demanding, some don't really offer the right benefits, and some don't create that shrimp paradise we're after. Our goal is to build a habitat that does three critical things: provide nonstop food, offers safe places to hide, and keeps the water clean and stable. Live plants are the only thing you can put in your tank that does all three of these things at once. The key is finding those special undemanding plants that don't take extra care or may need stuff like fertilizers that may not be good for the shrimp. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the absolute best must-have plants for any neocaridina tank, whether you have cherry shrimp, blue dreams, or any other color. These are the tried and true plants I use in all my most successful breeding tanks. We're focused on easy, low-tech options that are specifically picked to make your shrimp as happy and healthy as possible. If you could pick only one single plant for a shrimp tank, this is it. Moss or any moss that grows successfully for you with the least amount of effort. Honestly, calling it just a plant doesn't do it justice. For a shrimp, it's a jungle gym, a 24/7 all-you-can-eat buffet, and a 5-star nursery all in one. It is hands down one of the most beneficial things you can add to your aquarium. So what's the magic here, you might be asking? It's all about the structure. Moss is made of countless tiny branching stems, creating a super dense complex net. All that surface area is the perfect place for biofilm to grow. Biofilm is that invisible community of microorganisms, bacteria, algae, and all sorts of good stuff that grows on everything in a tank. For shrimp, and especially for baby shrimp, biofilm is their number one food source. They'll spend all day, every day, picking away at this moss, just grazing on that invisible layer of food. Now, to be clear, the shrimp don't actually eat the moss itself. They use it as a dinner plate for all the tasty biofilm that grows on it. Its tangled structure also catches tiny bits of leftover food, which your shrimp will happily find and clean up later. It's like a self-stocking snack bar. Beyond food, moss is the ultimate hideout. When a shrimp molts, its new shell is soft and they're super vulnerable. They need a safe spot to hide from tank mates or even other curious shrimp. The males are really hard after the girls when they molt. This dense web of moss is the perfect retreat. For baby shrimplets, which are unbelievably tiny, it's a literal lifesaver. They can vanish into the moss, safe from being eaten, with a constant food source right there with them. Hopefully there's nothing in the tank that's going to eat them anyway. So, when it comes to care, it really doesn't get easier. Moss is famously tough. It needs very little light and doesn't care about CO2 or fancy fertilizers, making it perfect for simple beginner setups. You can let it float around, but I think it works best when you either attach it to wood or rocks, or in my favorite way is to weigh it down with a chunk of a few rocks or even a few pinches of sand or gravel. Over time, it'll grab on by itself and start spreading, creating this beautiful natural green carpet. It's a non-negotiable for me in every shrimp tank I set up. Next up are one of my personal favorites for adding some leafy structure to the tank. Cryptocorns, or simply called crypts for short. While moss is the king for baby shrimp, crypts play a different but just as important role in making adult shrimp feel safe and secure. Cryptocorn is a whole group of plants with tons of different species. They come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, and even colors: green, bronze, even reddish tones. The ones that I use the most are types like Cryptocorn deadeye. What make these plants so great for shrimp are their broad, sturdy leaves. They create these fantastic leafy canopies that shrimp love to hang out under. It gives them a sense of security, which lowers their stress. And less stress means better colors and more breeding. The stressed shrimp is a pale shrimp that hides all the time. A confident shrimp is a happy and healthy shrimp. Just like moss, the big, wide leaves of a crypt become prime real estate for biofilm. You'll constantly see your shrimp methodically cleaning every inch of these leaves, grazing away. I often just see my adult shrimp chilling on a big crypt leaf, picking at it for hours. It's their version of a lazy Sunday afternoon. Care-wise, crypts are known for being super hardy and low maintenance. They're great for low-tech tanks, doing just fine in low to moderate light without any extra CO2. They are root feeders, so they do like some nutrients in the substrate. Just push a simple root tab into the gravel or sand near them every few months, and that's more than enough to keep them going. Sometimes I don't even do that, and they go just fine. The crypts I put some fertilizers under go crazy, but the crypts growing in just plain sand and gravel also do just fine. Super easy. If you want monster crypts, put a little something underneath them, but if you don't, they will still grow to be big, beautiful plants. One thing to know about crypts is the infamous crypt melt. Sometimes when you first add one to your tank, the leaves might look like they're melting away into mush. But don't panic. This is a totally normal reaction to a new environment. Most of the time, if you just leave the roots alone, the plant will bounce back and grow new leaves that are perfectly adapted to your tank's water. Once it's settled in, it'll be a beautiful, steady part of your aquascape for years. So, moss covers the ground and crypts create the mid-ground shelter. Stem plants are what bring the height. Think of them as skyscrapers in your shrimp city. Plants like Rotala and Ludwigia are awesome choices because they grow fast, add tons of surface area, and are amazing at cleaning your water. The main benefit here is that fast growth. To grow that quickly, they have to suck up a lot of nitrates and other waste from the water. In a shrimp tank, where we want super stable and clean water, these plants are basically living filters. They're workhorses that help keep the water safe for your shrimp. All that growth also creates a dense, vertical forest for your shrimp to climb and explore. They'll work their way up every single stem and leaf, grazing on biofilm the whole way. It massively increases the usable space in your tank. I love watching my shrimp crawl through the branches of Rotala bush. It gives them a complex world that lets them act like natural foragers. Many of these stem plants, like some types of Rotala and Ludwigia, can also bring in a pop of color. With decent light, they can turn beautiful shades of pink, orange, or red, which looks stunning next to the green and the bright colors of your shrimp. As for care, they're pretty easy. They'll grow just fine in a low-tech tank, though their growth and color will be better with a bit more light. Because they grow so fast, you'll have to trim them every few weeks so they don't block all the light from the plants below. But here's the cool part. You can take those trimmed clippings, stick them right back in the substrate, and they'll grow into new plants. It's super cheap way to make your tank even fuller and lusher over time. Just snip the top off, stick it in the gravel. The one you snipped off will grow back even bushier, and the little part you clipped off and stuck in the sand will grow back and be its own plant. Pretty cool. Finally, let's create a true background wilderness with jungle vallisneria, or for short, people just call it jungle val. This plant is a total classic for a reason. It's built like a tank and creates a dramatic jungle vibe that shrimp absolutely love. Jungle val is a tall, grass-like plant with leaves that grow several feet long. for real, they can get really big, making a green curtain at the back of your tank. This dense wall of leaves is the ultimate hiding spot. It gives shrimp a huge, secure area where they can feel totally safe, which we already know is a key for breeding. The long, flowy leaves also provide another massive surface for biofilm to grow on, creating a never-ending buffet. One of the best things about Val is how it spreads. It sends out what we call runners under the substrate that pop up as new plants a few inches away. This means you can plant a few bunches and it will slowly fill in the entire background all on its own, creating a dense meadow with zero extra work from you. Care for jungle Val is as easy as it gets. It doesn't care about light, handles a huge range of water conditions, and needs no CO2. It's one of the few plants that actually does well in the harder, more alkaline water that Neocaridina shrimp often like. It does feed from its roots, so an occasional root tab is helpful, but in my experience, not necessary. It always just grows like crazy, no matter what you do to it for me. Okay, before we wrap up, a super important bonus tip. Always clean your new plants before adding them to a shrimp tank. Shrimp are incredibly sensitive to pesticides and chemicals that are often used on plants grown for sale. Even plants from another hobbyist tank can bring in pests like snails or planaria. To be safe, you should always quarantine and clean them. A simple rinse and quick dip can work wonders. A very diluted bleach dip, like 1 part bleach to 20 parts water for about 90 seconds, maybe even more diluted than that. But you have to rinse them extremely well in dechlorinated water afterwards. An even safer but slower way, and this is the way I really recommend you do it, is to just keep the plants in a separate bucket for a couple weeks with regular water changes. This absolute safest bet, and this is what I use for my Caridina tanks, because in my Neo tanks, I don't really mind snails, but in my Caridina tanks, I want the only creatures in there to be the shrimp. So I buy tissue culture plants. They are grown in a sterile lab and are guaranteed to be 100% free of pests and chemicals. It's a small extra step that can save your entire shrimp colony. So there you have it. The core plants are the foundation of all my happy, healthy shrimp tanks. By combining the food-rich jungle of moss, the leafy shelters of crypts, the vertical forest of stem plants, and the wild background of jungle val, you create a complete ecosystem. It doesn't just look great, it actively works to keep your shrimp fed, safe, and stress-free. It's what turns a simple glass box into a true shrimp paradise. If this video helped you plan your shrimp tank, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel out. Make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on for more shrimp tips. I want to hear from you in the comments. What's your absolute favorite? Can't live without it plant for shrimp. Let's share some knowledge. Thanks for watching and happy shrimping. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.